I took one dough recipe and created 2 types of melt-in-your-mouth butter cookies. They also serve as a great token of appreciation. First, I mixed together 300 grams of white flour with 225 grams of softened butter. I used a hand mixer to mix the flour and butter until they resembled breadcrumbs. Next, I added 100 grams of blanched and unblanched almond flour and 2 egg yolks. Then I added 80 grams of powdered sugar. If you like your cookies on the sweeter side, then add up to 100 grams. For the flavorful notes, I added a zest of a lemon and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I continued to mix on low until the dough became a crumbly, soft texture. Once the dough reached the desired consistency, I kneaded it by hand and formed it into a smooth, round ball. I covered it with plastic wrap and let it chill in the fridge for a few hours. A few hours later, I took the chilled dough out of the fridge and cut it into thirds. I took 1/3 of the dough and chilled the rest. I lightly floured the workspace and started to roll out the dough. I liked working with this dough because if I accidentally tore it, which happened, I could easily mend it and continue rolling. I rolled out the dough to about 5 millimeters thick, so just under 1/4 of an inch. I don't have any cookie cutters, so I actually found these in my daughter's Play-Doh set, and they worked out great. And not to worry, I disinfected them and washed them thoroughly before using. I used a smaller cutter to remove the center from half of the cookies. They became the top so the jam could peek through once they were assembled. I placed the cookies onto the baking tray lined with parchment paper. Took the scraps from the dough and formed it into a ball to be chilled in the fridge. I rolled out 1/3 of the chilled dough and cut out the cookie bases and lined them up on the baking tray. I baked them in the oven for about 10 minutes. I used the previously chilled scraps and refrigerated the new scraps before rolling out the dough again. I repeated the same steps, but this time with different shapes. The spatula helped to transfer the cookies onto the baking tray. To this batch for also 10 minutes. I removed the first baking tray out of the oven and let the cookies cool. I then dusted the tops of the cookies with powdered sugar. I spooned a little bit of the jam on the base of the cookie and carefully placed the top. I repeated these steps until I used up all the cookies. Meanwhile, I took the second batch out of the oven, let them cool, and put jam in between each cookie. I dusted the tops of the cookies with powdered sugar. The next day, I took the chilled dough out of the fridge. I was too lazy to use cookie cutters, so I formed it into a block and cut them into thin slices. I baked them in the oven for about 12 minutes. While the cookies baked, I melted the chocolate gently by placing a bowl over a small pot of simmering water. I removed the cookies out of the oven and let them cool. As you can see, they don't look perfect, but I think that's part of their charm. Once cooled, I spread melted chocolate over the cookies. Some cookies got a sprinkle of flaky salt, while others were topped with chopped candied ginger. I then let the chocolate set for about a couple of hours. I stored the cookies in an airtight container and also gave a few away.